Drafting worldwide, wide. Welcome back to the garage, the Revit garage project that is. In today's lesson, we're going to go through and add a title block or place this view on the title block. And we'll just leave this one in here for the time being. So the first thing I want to make note of is these little camera views. We talked about this once before, but you've likely forgotten what those are or how important they are. So this is a camera view that basically takes me to look at that elevation. So I want to pick these up and move them, and then whenever I click on the triangle part, I can see basically this line represents where my elevation view is, where it extends to. So what I really want to do is I want to stretch it down that way. And what I would have to do in order to make that happen is come into this view and scroll down through my properties with nothing selected, so my view is selected. Click crop view, crop region visible, and basically I could do something like this and scrunch this in like that, and then I uncheck that so that I don't see that little box, and then just to show you what that did out here, it shortened that line. So I would do that with each one of these things, and then I would go through and I'm gonna time lapse that. Now that I've gone through and changed the size and location of all of these, now I have actual grips on these that I can stretch around, whereas before I could not. So these are my elevation symbols. They are my camera views as well. I get those straightened out. The next thing that I want to show you is actually putting this onto a sheet. There's one thing I could do to make this work out better, but I'm going to show you that later. So right now I just want to scroll down in my project browser to my sheets, right click on sheets, say new sheet, and I'm going to load, because the only title block I have in here is my 30 by 42. So I load that, scroll down in my US Imperial to title blocks. I'm going to do Ansi A, vertical. I'm going to open. I say OK. And then even if I don't want this to be vertical, I can always come in here and rotate this that direction. So once I have the title block in here, I go to my project browser, scroll up, and I'm going to drag and drop first floor on here. And it just did something really ugly like that. So basically nothing fits in its place. So what I need to do, there's a couple different things I can do. First of all, the scale is wrong. More importantly is it's showing me all this other stuff that I don't want to see. So I can go back into my first floor view, scroll down through my properties with nothing selected, so I'm getting the properties of my view. And again, I'm going to do my crop region visible, and I'm going to just bring this in. We'll try it right there. Might end up bringing that in closer, and then I'll turn that off again, and I'm going to try, instead of a 1/4 inch, we'll see if that fits first. Let's go back to our sheet. And you can see that it does not fit on the sheet. So I'm going to click on my view, which is my floor plan view, level 1. I'm going to come up here, and instead of a 1/4 inch equals a foot, I'm going to try one step down, 3/16 inch equals a foot. And then I'm going to put it on there. That would fit. It would be really tight, but it would fit. So then the next thing is, I think our assignment actually says we're going to use an Ansi B title block. And I'm going to go back into my Titleblocks, and I just deleted the one that I had there. So I'm going to delete this sheet altogether, and I'm going to right click, new sheet. I'm going to load, and I'm going to do horizontal 11 by 17, which is my Ansi B. I say OK, and there I have a title block for that. Once again, I'm going to come up, drag my first floor in here, drop it there. Right now that is at 3/16. I'm going to go ahead and try a quarter to see if that fits. I think if we tried really hard we could make that fit, but I think a 3/16 scale would probably work out a little bit better considering all the other things that we need to put in here. So at that point, the only thing left to do is to fix this thing up a little bit. So I'm going to click on this view, and then I'm going to stretch this down here, bring that right there, and right now I could go through and fill out my title block, but basically the whole point of this was looking at this viewport, turning on and off the things within this view, which is basically I have to go into that first floor and turning my crop region, making my crop region visible or not visible so that I could move things in. I could move this a little bit closer. I could click that, bring it a little bit closer, and then I could go back here and turn that off. Okay, so there's still work to be done to clean this up, make it look good, and put more views on these title blocks. But basically, and then I also have to rename this. But for today's lesson, it was about figuring out the scale, figuring out how to place views on sheets.